Have you ever met someone who can switch between two languages so effortlessly, as if their mind is dancing between worlds? It looks simple, doesn't it? But what if I told you that behind this skill lies one of the most powerful workouts your brain could ever get? Yes, being bilingual doesn't just make you speak differently, it makes you think differently. And today, you'll discover why scientists say a bilingual brain is stronger, smarter, and even healthier. But before we go deeper, tell me in the comments, which languages do you speak? Let's see how many bilingual minds are watching right now. Being bilingual means more than just knowing two languages. It's about seeing the world through two lenses. Some people grow up hearing two languages from their parents, their home, their culture. Others learn a second language later, in school, while traveling, or even from watching movies. And then something amazing happens inside their brain. It begins to adapt. It learns how to switch between two systems of words, sounds, and grammar without getting confused. That's not easy. It's incredible. Inside your brain, languages don't live in separate boxes. They live side by side, constantly active, constantly competing for your attention. When you want to speak, your brain has to choose the right word from the right language in just milliseconds. That means your brain is always training itself to focus, to switch, and to stay sharp. Imagine lifting weights, but instead of your muscles, it's your mind getting stronger. Every time you switch from English to Urdu, from Spanish to French, from Hindi to Arabic, your brain becomes faster, smarter, and more flexible. Now tell me this in the comments. What's the most beautiful word you know in another language? You see, when a bilingual person talks, listens, or even thinks, both languages wake up in the brain. But the brain has to silence one and focus on the other. That's mental discipline at its best. It's like meditation, but happening inside your mind every second of the day. Over time, this constant mental exercise actually changes the brain. Parts of the brain that control memory, focus, and problem solving grow stronger. Scientists have seen it through brain scans. Bilingual brains literally have stronger connections between regions. So yes, speaking two languages doesn't just change what you say, it changes who you are. Have you ever tried talking on the phone while cooking dinner? That's multitasking. And your brain doesn't always love it. But bilinguals, their brains are like pros at it. Every time they choose one language and ignore the other, they're practicing focus. That control center in their brain, the one that manages attention, becomes stronger. So in real life, when they switch between writing an email, answering a message, and listening to music, they do it more smoothly. Their brain is trained to switch tasks without getting tired. That's not luck. That's years of silent mental training. Memory is the heart of learning, and bilingual people often have a stronger one. Why? Because their brains are used to holding and juggling information. When you speak two languages, you constantly store, recall, and reorganize words. This strengthens your working memory, the part of your brain that helps you remember names, lists, and directions. And it's not just memory. This mental flexibility helps with creativity too. A bilingual brain is used to having two words for one idea, two ways to express one thought. That makes it easier to think outside the box, to find new solutions, and to see life from more than one angle. Comment below. What's something you can say in your language that sounds beautifully untranslatable? As we grow older, our bodies change, and so do our brains. But here's the good news. A bilingual brain stays healthier for longer because it's constantly active, constantly switching, constantly learning. Scientists call this cognitive reserve, like a savings account of brain strength. When your brain has more connections and more pathways, it can handle age-related changes better. In fact, studies show that bilingual people may delay symptoms of Alzheimer's by several years. Their brains have built backup routes to keep things running. Think about that. A simple habit, speaking another language, could help protect your mind for years. Being bilingual isn't just about the brain, it's a real-life superpower. It helps you at work, at school, in relationships, and in travel. It makes you better at solving problems, staying calm under pressure, and connecting with people from other worlds. You start to see that there's never just one way to look at something. There are always two or three or more. That's what language gives you, perspective. And that perspective can change your life. So if you've ever doubted yourself while learning another language, remember this. Every word you learn, every sentence you speak, is a small workout for your mind. You're not just learning to talk, you're teaching your brain to grow, to stay strong, flexible, and full of life. Your bilingual brain is not ordinary. It's a masterpiece, built by effort, curiosity, and connection. If you felt inspired today, don't keep it to yourself. Tell us in the comments what languages you speak or want to learn next. Like this video if it opened your eyes to the hidden power of the mind. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories about life, learning, and the human brain. And, of course, share this video with someone who needs to know how amazing their bilingual brain really is. Because remember, when you speak two languages, you don't just speak differently, you live differently.